Well, let's move to personal security because that's really what you focus on primarily now. You have a book called Catching the Catfishers.
Yes, I do.
And my daughters are fascinated by that MTV show. I really don't like them watching it, but they love it. So how accurate is that depiction of catfishing versus what you talk about in this book?
Well, it's slightly different because this book takes on everything internet in a very easy, ingestible manner. So a parent can pick this book up and understand with checklists, and they can discuss it with their young kids, how to protect themselves in the online domain. And it also talks about how to present yourself in the online domain. But one thing that it does that I have yet to see another book do is it teaches you how to vet if who you're talking to online is who they say they are, and how to actually read deception in the online domain. Because I don't remember the exact statistic, I think it's like 90-something% of communication is body language. But in this domain, you don't have that. Mm-hmm. So I have a checklist in the book that discusses how you can vet and how you can read lies, and you can determine if this person is real or fake. And there were actually stories that caused me to write the book, and then stories that have come after for people telling me, well, we use this, and oh my, wow, that kind of saved our tails.
Give me a couple of points that you would advise people to do when they're trying to determine the veracity of someone's identity that they're communicating with.
Well, there's a couple of things. If there's the obvious, if someone's not going to Skype with you or have a telephonic conversation and they're constantly making up excuses, well, that's kind of a red flag, but that's an obvious one. If someone asks you for money, that's kind of a red flag too. Mm-hmm. You want to do a little bit of research on the person. If they have a social media presence that just kind of started and there's not much about them, there's not a lot of public record searches, that's kind of weird. If you ask them to send you a photo in real time and they can't do it time and time again, that's kind of a problem. Mm-hmm. And actually, there was a case, a good friend of mine, he knew I was writing this book, and he had a 16-year-old daughter who was communicating with a guy who they both thought seemed kind of fishy, and he wanted to meet. Well, we went through the checklist that I have in the book, and it turns out she asked him, to send a real-time photo. He couldn't do it. He left out a lot of details. Every time she'd ask a question about the area that he claimed he lived in, mm-hmm. he was not forthcoming with details. Like, he didn't know specific restaurants, or it was shady, or he would try to change the subject. But one of the biggest giveaways was he did send her one photo. We did two things with that photo. We did an internet search on that photo, found that same photo on someone else's Facebook page, and it was very clear which Facebook page was the real one. He had taken it from someone else's. And we looked at the EXIF data, which is data about the camera that has taken the photograph, mm-hmm. that gives the exact geographic coordinates. And where he claimed to be was not where the photograph was taken.